Good evening and welcome to the Thursday, July 15th, 2021 meeting of the St. Tammany Parish School Board. Ms. Coakley, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Harrell.
Here.
Mr. Green. Mrs. Heinz. Mr. Derman. Mr. Loop. Mr. Nation. Mrs. Richardson. Mr. Winkler.
Here.
Mrs. Baker.
Here.
Mr. Bentoncourt.
Here.
Mrs. Lamy.
Here.
Mr. Hersey.
Here.
Mr. Bro.
Here.
Mr. Kuzan.
Here.
Mrs. Page.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Coakley. Ms. Lamy, will you please lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance?
Let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for getting us here today safely. Lord, I pray a special prayer over our new administrators, those being introduced tonight and over the last few months. I just pray for your hedge of protection around all of us, over our students, families, and that you would guide and guard our decision-making tonight, keeping our schools, teachers, and students first. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ms. Lamy. Up next, we have some recognition of visitors. Ms. Heinz, would you like to go first?
Thank you, Mr. Harrell. Tonight we have a very distinguished guest here. He's a former assistant superintendent in our school system, Mr. Ralph Manatry. Mr. Manatry was an assistant superintendent during the time of Mr. Shane, and he's now a dear friend, mentor, and constituent of mine. And he's here tonight to support his granddaughter. He was a great administrator, he's a great father, and he's sure a great grandfather. Thank you for being here tonight, Ralph.
Any other board members have somebody they'd like to recognize? Seeing none. Superintendent Javia.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight. I'd like to take a few minutes just to recognize a few people and to give you an update on where we are. So next week, we'll have our principals back in their leadership training on Wednesday and Thursday. That will conclude an 8-day training with our principals and C&I staff and personnel. Also, we will have our all site administrator conference on Friday, where we give all of our departmental updates at Treen. So I'm looking forward. It'll be the first time that I get to address all site-based administrators at one time. So I'm truly excited about that taking place. I want to let the board members know that we have concluded all the interviews and we will conclude the appointments for all of our administrators tonight. So we're happy to have that process complete and everybody in place for the start of the administrators conference. I do want to thank a few people, a few departments for their hard work. All of our groups have been working so hard to get ready for this school year. But I just want to really thank the HR department. They have brought all of our new employees in, vetted them. They're finishing that process. And I'm just so pleased at what we're able to offer those employees, the benefits and everything that come with the position, getting their certification straight. It just takes a lot to get them set up so that they feel comfortable and welcome to this parish. So I really want to thank Mr. Jabby, Mr. Alfonso, Miss Niehaus, and all of our HR staff for all that they do. They do a tremendous job. But also I want to take this time to thank all of our departments. I mean, like I said, we have been working so hard this summer. It was a very quick turnaround from the extension of the school year due to COVID from last year. So we've had a very quick turnaround, and I just want to thank everyone for their support. I also want to thank everyone that was part of new teacher induction that's been going on this week. Ms. Dorwood Dangerfield, Ms. Stacy McGee, and all of the students with exceptionality staff under Ms. Carrie Sue and Ms. Gardner. They've done a tremendous job of working with our new teachers, and like I said, welcoming them to our district and just going through procedures and guidelines so that when we start school, they feel very confident in the structure that we take a lot of pride in. So they'll be ready to go and be able to welcome those students when they come on board. And also, I'd like to give you an update. I talked to Mr. Bouillon, and we are ready to go with technology. His staff has been working extremely hard to get the Chromebooks ready to go in place so that when we kick off the first day of school, we'll be issuing Chromebooks to our students and begin that process on the first day of school. So we're really excited about that. Last year we had to do it in segments because we were waiting on those Chromebooks to come in. But now we're ready to go. Our students will be ready to get going from day one. So we're just extremely excited. The school year is upon us. We basically, after tonight, we have 3 weeks till we open school. So it has been a very quick turnaround. And again, thanks to all the staff and everyone that's taken part in this process. I'm really excited to kick it off from day one. And I'm ready to welcome our students back to our district. So thank you very much, Mr. Harrell.
No, thank you. I appreciate the update. Sounds wonderful. All right, up next, do you want to make the announcement for the administrative
Yes, sir.
appointments?
I know people get tired of hearing my voice. So here we go. I couldn't be more excited. I've expressed to this board and to our staff how excited I am to welcome these great administrators to our district. The talent pool has been tremendous. Sitting in the interviews, I have been wowed by the amount of talent that has come before us. We've had a lot of interviews. We've had a lot of turnover. I think we've had 45 new site-based administrators that are permanent to their positions. So it's been a long process, but I couldn't be any prouder for this group of individuals. So I'm going to start by introducing appointments. As you come forward, I'll introduce you. Please give your speech, and then I'll ask your family and friends to stand at the designated point. So we welcome all of you, and we will start with our assistant principal pool. And our first assistant principal to recognize to appoint tonight is from Abney Elementary, Ms. Tony Tanner Castillo.
Hello, everyone. I am so thrilled and excited to be back home in St. Tammany. And I know that I'm going to have an excellent year with my Abney elementary family. I've already adopted them, and I'm ready to work and have just an extraordinary year. So thank you so much.
Will the family and friends of Ms. Tanner Castillo please stand, please, and be recognized. Our next appointment, assistant principal at Abney Elementary, Ms. Courtney Minitry.
First, I'd like to thank all of you for everything you do for our district each and every day. I would like to thank my Abney family for their support and believing in me. I'd like to thank my parents and my two beautiful children for putting up with me. And then again, Ms. Heinz stole half my speech, but it's okay. My grandfather for inspiring me to follow in his footsteps and be a part of this wonderful district. Thank you.
Will Ms. Minitry's family please stand to be recognized, please? Next up, assistant principal at Covington High School, Mr. Larry Favre.
Superintendent Javia, Mr. Harrell, school board, just how humbling and awesome experience this is. Thank you. Really looking forward. Been so blessed in education over 30 years, and to be on the football field for over 30 years, and now to take that same philosophy and take it to the school level and try to impact the whole school. I'm really excited to work with Mr. McCurley as he impacts his vision at Covington High School, and just how blessed to maybe the two most storied schools, certainly in our parish and in the state, Slidell High School, and now I get to have Covington High School. So to be a part of those two prides and traditions. Sorry there, Mr. Kosek. But just really, really blessed and just looking forward. Can't wait to go to work, and so proud to be in this Covington community and part of the pride and tradition of Covington High School. Thank you so much. Superintendent Gabby, I'm solo tonight, so
Thank you, Larry.
I'm here by myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Next, Assistant Principal at Folsom Elementary, Ms. Renisha Singleton.
Good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to thank God for another opportunity to serve the community, parents, faculty, and staff of Folsom Elementary. I would also like to thank the interview committee for entrusting me with such an important responsibility. As the assistant principal at Folsom Elementary, I look forward to working as a servant leader and continuing to make Folsom Elementary a great place to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Will Mrs. Singleton's family please stand to be recognized, please? Next, Assistant Principal at Mayfield Elementary, Miss Katie Singleton.
Good evening to Superintendent Javia, Assistant Superintendents, board members. I am proud and humble to be named the Assistant Principal at Mayfield Elementary. I must first give thanks to my loving Lord and Savior. Throughout my 19 years as an educator, I've had the opportunity to teach in some really cool places as a military spouse. But the last 11 years, I must say, have been the absolute best, thanks to some very special people at Mayfield. First, I would like to thank the leader that paved the way, Miss Arlena LeBlanc, the first principal of Mayfield. Thank you for hiring me as a fourth grade teacher and not hesitating in the interview to ask me to be part of the school improvement team, if hired. If you know Arlena, then you know she has a way with getting you involved the moment she meets you. I'm so grateful for you and your amazing leadership style. Second, I would like to thank one of the hardest working leaders in St. Tammany Parish, Miss Carrie Sue. Oh, what fun we had. I am deeply honored by your confidence in my ability to become TRT and forever pushing me out of my comfort zone into leadership roles during your time at Mayfield. Next, my family, my amazing husband, my rock, my hype man. Thank you for always supporting me. My two kids, Jeremy, who's forever telling me what's not cool, and my sweet Lauren, who doesn't mind telling Superintendent Javia on his first visit to Mayfield that the girls' bathroom needed soap. And to my parents, who are by far my biggest cheerleaders. And last, my Mayfield family, my work family. To the best faculty, staff, parents, and students on the planet who has had a major impact on my career. You see, 6 years ago, when my husband received orders from the United States Marine Corps, I decided to stay because of the dedication, because of the drive, and most importantly, because of the work and family at Mayfield. It was by far the hardest decision I had to make, but the best, because Mayfield was the first school that I truly felt like I was part of a family. And to our leader, the wonderful Ayanna Carr Rogers. I'm so excited for the next chapter as your AP. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. As I close, I must give you a true taste of the entire I must give you a true taste, of what the entire Mayfield family experience every day right before dismissal. I need all of my Mayfield Bears, the ones that are here this evening, and the ones that are still on vacation at the beach or watching from home, on the count of three, in the words of Miss Rogers. 1, 2, 3. Go Bears! Thank you.
Katie. Will the family and friends of Miss Katie Singleton please stand and be recognized, please? Our next assistant principal appointment at North Shore High School, Mr. Stephen Grimion.
Afternoon. I would like to thank everyone, Mr. Superintendent Jabbia, Mr. Jabbia, Mr. Kosei, Ms. Gardner, and Dr. McCurley. I would also like to thank the board and Ms. Page. And I would especially like to thank the North Shore High School community for accepting me, bringing me in. It was truly a privilege, and it didn't take long for me to fall in love with the school and the city. I would like to especially thank the administration for giving me a lot of help this year. Mr. Bill Gallagher, Ms. Cheryl Yates, Ms. Susan Johnston for all their help. They were truly a blessing throughout the year. And finally, I'd like to thank my family, my wife Monique, and my boys Curtis and Tyler, who are both graduates of St. Tammany Parish Schools. Thank you very much.
Will the family of Mr. Grimion please stand and be recognized, and friends also, please. Thank you. Next, Assistant Principal at North Shore High School, Ms. Abby McMurdo.
Thank you, Mr. Jabbia. Thank you, school board members. I'm extremely excited and honored to accept the position of Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction at North Shore High School. I would first like to thank Mr. Jabbia, Ms. Yates, and Mr. Gallagher for their support and encouragement over the years. Ms. Yates, you are the best mentor I could ask for, and the guidance you have given me is invaluable. I would also like to thank my peers and colleagues that have helped me throughout the years, several of which are here tonight continuing to show their support. Finally, and most importantly, I would not be here today without the support and love of my wonderful husband and daughter. Thank you for being there for me each and every day. I'm extremely excited to be a part of the future of North Shore High School. I will do my best to continue the legacy of excellence that others have set and hope to add my own individual touch to the future of this great school. To quote our mission, North Shore really is a challenging and caring community, and I will work every day to encourage lifelong learning for all of our students. Thank you again, and go Panthers.
Will Ms. McMurdo's family and friends please stand and be recognized, please. Next, Assistant Principal at Pearl River High School, Ms. Robin Herliska.
Good evening. I would like to thank Superintendent Jabbia, Mr. Kosei, Dr. McCurley, Ms. Gardner, Mr. Winkler, the board, and all others in attendance tonight. My journey as an educator started 27 years ago when I was hired in a sabbatical position to cover Mrs. Suzanne Jabbia's position at Salmon High School. I started my career teaching with legends, Pam Slayton and Jay Carlin, and with Mr. Kosei as my assistant principal. Throughout my journey, I have worked with many more legends, Mr. Billy Percy, Bruce Bundy, Johnny Vetrano, Donna Manetta, and the list goes on and on. Every person I have worked with has helped shape me into the person and educator I am today, and I would like to thank you all. Last year was an amazing year as a parish-wide assistant principal, and I would like to thank several new communities that I became a part of. To Shelley Morris, the virtual school faculty and staff, and central office staff. You all are amazing human beings, and I will never forget each and every one of you. If you look up the definition of 24/7, you may see the names Shelley Morris and Robin Herdliska. St. Tammany Parish Public School System got their money's worth out of us, along with a few others sitting in front of me here tonight. To Kathy McDowell and the Bayou Woods faculty and staff, you all are awesome miracle workers, and I thank you all for accepting me into your Gator Nation and giving me some valuable friendships and experiences. To Michelle Simmons and the 5th Ward Junior High faculty and staff, thank you for letting me hang out and see what a well-oiled machine looks like. I encourage you all to take a ride out to Bush to see what I'm talking about. It's the best kept K-8 secret in St. Tammany Parish. To my parents, Alton and Cheryl Rock, Thank you for always having high expectations and supporting me and my family and showing me a hard work ethic. Also, thank you to my mother-in-law, Laura Herdliska, for your loving support and helping us raise our children. To my children, Riley, Abby, and Bo, thank you for sharing me with the children of St. Tammany Parish. I know you all have had to take a back seat, but thank you for understanding and supporting me. To my husband, George, my teammate in life, my biggest fan and supporter. Thank you for always believing in me and telling me that I am the best and that I am beautiful inside and out. To Tracy Jordan Larson, thank you for giving me this opportunity to work by your side and along with Clark Hershey. I look forward to my new Pearl River family, and I cannot wait to serve the faculty, staff, students, and community. Thanks again to all who are here to support me tonight. Thank you.
Will Ms. Herliska's family and friends please stand and be recognized? Our next appointment for assistant principal at Pitcher Junior High, Mr. Patrick Daniel.
Thank you, Mr. Jabbia, Assistant Superintendents, and the board. I would like to start off by thanking my family. When I decided to go back to school to obtain my master's degree, it was going to be a burden for my wife and my children as well. And they stepped up to the plate because they know the commitment it was going to be. And with her love and support along with the process, it has strengthened our relationship with each other as well as with God. And support from local family and friends who are here as well has made just words cannot express everything. I want to thank Mr. Askew, who's also in attendance here, for giving me a chance as the administrative assistant. In the last 2 years, as the administrative assistant at Fountainblue Junior High, last year. So the last 2 years, the administrative assistants have become permanent assistant principals, and that's a testament to his leadership capabilities, and I'm forever indebted to his guidance. I want to thank the entire faculty at Fountainblue Junior for their outpouring of gratitude, thanks, and excitement was overwhelming this morning for the support that is evidenced. It's palpable at Fountainblue Junior High. And as I move forward to this new journey at Pitcher, I see wonderful faces. I meet new people. I look forward to working closely with Mr. Favre and to develop Covington to be the best that it can absolutely possibly be. And I look forward to making Pitcher proud. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Will Mr. Daniel's family and friends please stand and be recognized? Our next appointment, assistant principal at Riverside Elementary, Ms. Claire Folse.
Good evening. Thank you, Superintendent Jabbia, school board members, and all other administrators here tonight. I've had the privilege to grow up in St. Tammany Parish, where I've experienced the amazing teachers and awesome leadership this parish has. I've witnessed St. Tammany bounce back stronger than ever after Hurricane Katrina, and once again, over the past year, we have adapted and overcome so many challenges. It is an absolute honor to be here today. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mary Jane Smith for hiring me at Honey Island and being a great leader and mentor for her remainder there. Thank you, Gina Troyer, for believing me and pushing me to always be my best. You have told me many times over the years to just remember this when you're an assistant principal one day, and here I am. Thank you so much for everything. I want to thank my second grade team for being my rock. Without your support and encouragement, I would not be here today. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always supporting me and being there whenever I need you. I would like to thank my husband for pushing me and always making me see the best in myself and never letting me settle for anything less. Lastly, I would like to thank Donna Jones for seeing potential in me. I am so excited to be your partner and to take this journey with you. You have described Riverside as your home, and I cannot wait to make it mine as well. Thank you.
Will Ms. Folks' family and friends please stand and be recognized, please? The next appointments will be through our parish-wide assistant program that we're so proud of and look forward to hosting these young administrators and getting them started. First off, parish-wide assistant principal, Miss Lauren Betancourt.
Good evening. I'm so excited to accept the position of Parish-wide Assistant Principal for St. Tammany Parish. I would like to thank God for this opportunity and for all that He has blessed me with. I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Superintendent Jabbia, Associate Superintendent Jabbia, the Assistant Superintendents, Mr. Kosei, Ms. Gardner, and Dr. McCurley. Of course, I am also thankful for the leadership of our school board members, especially Ms. Page, and all of the other district leaders and supervisors who are here with us tonight. I wouldn't be able to pursue my dream of becoming a parish-wide assistant principal without the support of my loving husband, Jonathan. He constantly supports me and encourages me to go for it. I would like to thank my parents, my in-laws, my grandparents, family, and friends. I want to thank Mr. Jeremy Jackson, who was my principal at Boyette Junior High, for always encouraging me to pursue my interest in administration and for all of the guidance and opportunities he has provided to me over the years. I will truly miss my Boyette family, and I want to thank each of them for all of their love and support. I would like to thank the science curriculum specialist, Shannon Leger, for seeing leadership potential in me and for giving me the opportunity to lead science presentations for the district. I also want to thank Dr. Tillman and Mr. Alfonso for their kindness throughout the interview process. I want to personally thank Supervisor Adorable Dangerfield for being a guiding light all these years and for her commitment to the LEAD program, from which I learned so much as an aspiring administrator. She has always been there for me, and I am honored to know her and to have her as a mentor. I also want to extend my sincere gratitude to Mr. Astigue, who has already been so welcoming for my first assignment at Fontainebleau Junior High. In closing, I just want to thank St. Tammany Parish Schools for all that they are and for making me want to dedicate my life to being an educator. No matter what position I hold, I will always be forever thankful to be a representative of this parish. Thank you to the administration for taking a chance on me. I won't let you down. Thank you.
Will Ms. Betancourt's family please stand and friends be stand to be recognized, please? Thank you. Next in our parish-wide assistant principal program, Mr. Jeffrey Mills.
Good evening. I would first like to give my thanks to Superintendent Jabbia, Mr. Jabbia, Ms. Gardner, Dr. McCurley, Mr. Kosei, and the school board members for providing me with this incredible honor. I'm extremely grateful and humbled for the confidence that you have in me to be a successful leader in our school system. I would like to thank my wife, Paula, who is a teacher in our school system, in addition to my kids, whose support helps me be a stronger person. I would also like to thank my administration at Clearwood Junior High, Principal Brian Hurstis, and Assistant Principal Jessica Venezia, who entrusted me with impactful roles during my time there and guided me along the way. As a parish-wide assistant principal, I look forward to the opportunity to learn from the many strong administrators in our school system, as well as being an integral part in the continued success of our safe and supportive learning communities. This is a position I will take on with energy while continually self-reflecting so that I can grow professionally. Once again, thank you for this remarkable opportunity.
Will the Mills family and friends please stand to be recognized, please? Next appointment, our parish-wide assistant principal program, Ms. Alexandra O'Dowd.
Good evening, President Harrell, Superintendent Jabbia, and members of the board. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Jabbia and the hiring committee for giving me the opportunity to serve as a parish-wide assistant principal for St. Tammany Parish School System. I'm very excited to be a part of the forthcoming vision for our students, our schools, and our community. I would also like to give a huge thanks to my school family over the last 3 years. Tom Heyer and Adam Kelly. The amount of support they have given me during my first 3 years in St. Tammany is immeasurable. Mr. Heyer's here tonight to continue to support me. Thank you for showing me the ropes. To my support system, my husband Ryan and our 2 children, my mentor April Bedford, and my friends who are here tonight. Thank you for always encouraging me and helping me with life's little obstacles. To my parents who have always valued education and instilled a strong work ethic in me, thank you. My father always said, an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. It wasn't until later, and as I got older, that I realized these really weren't my father's words. They were Ben Franklin's. Nevertheless, this has become my goal for all children, to have the opportunity to invest in their education. Thank you, and I look forward to another year of learning in St. Tammany Parish School System.
Will Ms. O'Dowd's family and friends please stand and be recognized, please? Our next appointment is a new curriculum and instruction elementary supervisor. We're so happy to welcome her to the team and welcome her to St. Tammany Parish, Miss Jackie Jenkins.
Board, Superintendent, and Assistant Superintendents, thank you for the opportunity to join the St. Tammany Parish School System and to become a member of the curriculum and instruction team. I look forward to the work ahead, and I'm excited about the impact that this team is going to have on student achievement in this district. Tonight, I would like to acknowledge my fellow educators that have had an impact on my educational career, my parents for teaching me to believe in myself, follow my dreams, and that hard work pays off, my husband for always being my biggest supporter, cheerleader, and sometimes he became mom whenever I was working and furthering my education. My boys for giving me a greater purpose and the determination to be the best version of myself. And most importantly, I believe that I'm here tonight, not by chance, but by design. I'm blessed to have this opportunity to serve this system, and I look forward to the work ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Jackie. Will the Jenkins family and friends please stand and be recognized, please? Mr. Harrell, board members, as you can see how passionate all these individuals are, and we are just so happy for the future of St. Tammany and our administrative team and for the students of St. Tammany. So thank you all for this opportunity and congratulations to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Jabbia. All assistant principals and our supervisor, congratulations. I know y'all really earned it. Board members, please remain seated, but we're going to give a short break for employees to leave. Minutes. We have up first is Miss Jody Griswold signed up for 3 minutes. Please step up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Jody Griswold. I'm from Slidell. As parents, grandparents, and as a community, we believe that quality education is of the utmost importance. To quote a well-known educator, a just society always tries to give the best education to all of its members in accordance with their abilities. As individuals, our abilities are unique, and our abilities enrich our environment, form our relationships, and enhance our society. As educators, we aid students in discovering their innate abilities. We foster a love of learning, and we demonstrate care to maintain the integrity of the individual. Statistically speaking, 80% of differently abled students, or as commonly known as learning disabled students, fall under one category: dyslexia. Dyslexia is the unexpected difficulty in reading for an individual who has the intelligence to be a better reader. Dyslexia manifests from the inactivity of the occipitotemporal, the visual word form area, and the parietotemporal word analysis area. And due to this inactivity, fluency is disrupted and comprehension suffers. Yet, these dyslexic individuals are average to above average in intelligence. They have higher order critical thinking skills, and they are problem solvers and creative out-of-the-box thinkers. Under IDEA, the Individuals with Disability Act, dyslexia is a causative condition under specific learning disorder. The U.S. Office of Special Education and Rehabilitative Services, in a letter dated October 23, 2015, states, in ensuring the provision of a free and appropriate public education, OSERS encourages the state education agencies to remind their local education agencies of the importance of addressing the unique educational needs of children with specific learning disabilities resulting from dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia. These unique educational needs are twofold. One, early identification, which can begin as early as kindergarten, and certified academic language therapists who have a firm understanding of the methodology in educating children with dyslexia. It's been well documented that dyslexic students who have not received proper remediation often characterize themselves as dumb or stupid, and they find conflict when they continue to fail beside their best efforts and their classmates are progressing. In fact, a federal study of inmates found that 80% were functionally illiterate, and of those, 48% were dyslexic. I ask that this board fulfill their responsibility to the community, and I am making a request that dyslexia be made part of the agenda in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Griswold. Up next, we have Ms. Lee Barrios.
Hello, Lee Barrios, retired teacher. I had several concerns that I wanted to talk about tonight, but with only 3 minutes, I could only address one, so I spun the wheel and it landed on Mr. Harrell. On May the 5th, Mr. Harrell responded to my email regarding a draft set of public comment policy revisions, which he proposed and submitted to the board. Mr. Harrell said, quote, "I think a change to this policy would be very, very beneficial. We will work on adding language that guarantees that topics can be added to the agenda. This will allow us to respond to questions and ensure the public is aware of the topics being brought before the board," close quote. On May 23rd, 2.5 months ago, I sent my initial request to Mr. Harrell for consideration of an agenda item to accept public input and receive information on the school board's plan to spend the federally allocated American Rescue Funds, ESSER funds, and GEAR funds. I followed that up on June 3rd and June 10th, and most recently, July 12th, as reminders to Mr. Harrell and the school board that my requests have gone unanswered. So now, after 4 email requests and following protocol, I stand here publicly in hopes of getting the attention of the full board and Superintendent Jabbia regarding my request. I'm sure that if I were to ask Superintendent Jabbia to meet with me personally to go through all this, answer the questions I have, and provide me with the data, that he would do that. But this is a matter of public concern, not only concern for the expenditures of a large amount of taxpayer funding outside of the school board's already $500 million budget, but concerns as to how the children of St. Tammany will benefit from plans to make up for the loss of learning and time in the classroom as a result of COVID, and to even enhance their prospects for increased opportunities over the next few years. Unless I missed something, this board and superintendent have not publicly sought stakeholder input nor provided data on monies received or spent and how sums were and are to be allocated. Some of these funds have been allocated to school districts and presumably spent, with much more to come throughout the next 2 to 3 years. I ask again publicly for the school board to consider my request for a public discussion to be placed on the agenda in the very near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrios. Up next, we have Mr. Brant Osborne, Federation President.
Good evening. Brant Osborne, resident of Slidell, St. Tammany Federation of Teachers and School Employees President. I looked through the whole collective bargaining agreement. I couldn't find any language to stop y'all from taking all this talent out of Slidell High. So I guess I just need to be happy for these people. The Herliskas a couple of years ago, wonderful people. Tracy going to Pearl River High. And now y'all taking Coach Favre. That's a tough one. So they talk about the eye of the tiger. You know, he's the tiger's roar. So I guess he's going to be the lion's roar now, Coach Loop. So I guess that's okay. Just a quick update on an issue. I talked about it in past meetings, and it connects to the critical shortage in transportation that was talked about. Unfortunately, the House Bill 364 that was designed to update owner-operator pay, which hasn't been increased since 1986, it was defeated. It's a long story, but that's how it goes sometimes. A couple years back, I think when we did tax reform, owner-operators were no longer allowed to write off expenses anymore on their buses. So this kind of created this tight spot for them to be in. To kind of illustrate this problem, we do have the highest salary in the state, which is awesome. But normally when you have the highest salary, people line up around the block, and that's not the case. So to illustrate the problem, if the board buys a $100,000 bus and we hire a driver at $25,000, all that person has to do is drive that bus, which is a challenging thing. But at the end of the day, he parks the bus. That bus is going to be maintained by St. Tammany Parish. It's going to be fueled by St. Tammany Parish. Bus driver B is an owner-operator. She pays a note on a 6-year-old bus, and she gets $25,000, and also some operator pay, which again, some of that comes from the state, some of it comes from local, but sometimes it's not quite enough to cover the expense, especially if there's a major repair. So if her transmission goes out and she's out $5,000 at the end of the year, the driver that didn't put any risk in the system did a great job, but drove a school board bus, makes $25,000. The owner operator who saved y'all from buying 100,000 buses taking home basically 20,000. So you can kind of see where we're in a tough spot as far as that. I have a year-long commitment to trying to get some of that legislation passed down the road, but I hope we can kind of look at this problem and with fresh eyes and try to figure something out. Because again, with teachers, we can't teach the kids that aren't in front of us. So we need these folks to transport that precious cargo every day. So I appreciate your time and attention this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Osborne. Up next, we have Mr. Ron Browning. Mr. Browning, please state your name.
A lot of stuff to write here. I'm Ronald Browning. I'm a citizen here today, and in fact, I'm 78 years and 11. At my age, I announce months also. But instead of reading so much, Mark Twain says the worst death is probably to talk people to death, and politicians know that. But I'm standing here today because of two reasons. One, the day after the election in November the 2nd, I decided I've got to go do some more stuff because that was a fraudulent election. And it was, to me, what could I do? And I told my wife, go buy me a few copies of the Constitution. By the way, I'm not selling these, but to get rid of this and start circling these. And so I would just go talk to people, and I didn't scare them or go door to door. I would just visit. We'd be talking. And 90% of the people, and the red hat helped a little, but the 90% of the were perfect. And I had great comments. I had only one person who really turned me down. He said, I can't do this because I forgot his name, the guy's name, doesn't matter. I've got 820 of these that I've gotten rid of, and I'm doing them freely. I'm not asking for any, we could have gotten more here today, honey. I'm telling you, that's one of the things that concerned me is the Constitution. And I passed it out to all kinds of people. They could be tall, ugly, bad looking, whatever, and they could be skinny, and I would go talk to teenagers, and I'd give it to a husband when we'd be in the grocery store. I want to give it to my kids. So that was something I could do, a small thing, it seemed to me, but I did it. But now I'm into doing some other things. I've been talking to groups. I talked at Mr. Cooper's group about the problems that we have. Here's this word here. I keep writing it over and over. And this is what I want to talk about and my concerns, because I have, this is me and my wife, Karen. We've been here in Mandeville for 3 years. And 10 years before, everywhere in Estruma and Baton Rouge. But now we're here. And so that I'm here, we have 18 grandchildren. I know I have had a lot of daughters, y'all. We have 18. And so I start thinking every year, and this year we will have about 10 of those in schools. One here, one in another place in Gonzales, everywhere. They're going to be all over the place, these grandkids of ours. And so that was something that was a great concern to me as well. It would be for anybody, whether it's your children or not. Some of you have children. I've had the privilege of meeting one of you. My name is Ronald, and it's easy to keep up with his name. And so I'm very glad for you giving me this time. And, you know, I'm a college public speaking teacher of 30 years. How can I talk for and I can't see the time. Was that it? Okay. The big problem is the critical racist theory. And I hope you can vote against it. And I hope it goes down because it's critical, but that's bad. It's not racist. It's not even a theory. and I look forward to y'all's patience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Browning. Up next on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held on June 10th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Loop. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Bro. Any comments by the public? Seeing none, any questions from the board? Seeing none, everyone please vote. And we have 12 yeas and 0 abstentions. Up next is the approval of minutes for the special meeting held June 10th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Page. Do I have a second? Mr. Kuzan? Any comments by the public? Seeing none. Any questions from board members? Everyone, please vote. We passes 11 yeas, 1 abstention. Next is item C, approval of minutes for the special meeting held June 16th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Baker. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Hersey. Any comments by the public? Seeing none. Any questions from the board? Everyone, please vote. And that motion passes 11 yeas, 1 abstention. Item D, approval of minutes for the special meeting held June 17th, 2021. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Baker. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Lamy. Any comments by the public? Seeing none. Any questions from board? Everyone, please vote. My math was off. And that motion passes 10 yeas, 2 abstentions. Item E, Mr. Kosek.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell. Item E is bringing you the appropriate retirement resolutions on the following certificated personnel subsequent to the June 10th, 2021 meeting. Julia B. April, Carolyn Park Middle, 32 years, 10 years in St. Tammany Parish. Rosalind H. Hanson, Central Office, 27.96 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Kenneth L. Bird, Covington High, 46.50 years, 43 years in St. Tammany Parish. Ronald L. Sharp, Creekside Junior High, 21 years, 20 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Christopher R. Ufnak, Fifth Ward Junior High, 20.97 years, 17 years in St. Tammany Parish. Deborah Green, Florida Avenue Elementary, 37.23 years, 29.23 years in St. Tammany Parish. Henry T. Hassinger, Harrison Curriculum Center, 34.66 years, 28 years in St. Tammany Parish. Shelley D. Bogran, Mayfield Elementary, 34.79 years, 29.96 years in St. Tammany Parish. Nancy M. Hernandez, North Shore High, 47 years, 8 years in St. Tammany Parish. Richard M. Spring, North Shore High, 27.86 years, 25.86 years in St. Tammany Parish. Susan S. Little, Slidell Pupil Appraisal, 28 years, 24 years in St. Tammany Parish. And Maureen Mimi S. Leonard, Whispering Forest Elementary, 31 years, all in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you, Mr. Kosei. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Ms. Lamy, and a second by Mr. Betancourt. Do we have any questions from the public? Comments by the public? Seeing none, any comments or questions by board members? Congratulations. Thank you so much. Board members, please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Mr. Kosei, item F.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell. The next item brings you the appropriate retirement resolutions on the following employee support services personnel subsequent to the June 10th, 2021 meeting. Mary B. Lyle, Boyette Junior High, 29.27 years, 28.3 years, 30 years in St. Tammany Parish. Denise P. Crawford, Central Office, 17.25 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Janet M. Stevens, Central Office, 36 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Donna M. Vandervoort, Cypress Cove Elementary, 22.49 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Victoria P. Taylor, Educational Center, 20.94 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. George T. Holmes, Fifth Ward Junior High, 18.38 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Jeanette Miller, Harrison Curriculum Center, 14.98 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Melissa C. Cuevas, Information Technology, 24.50 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Mary P. Geisinger, Mandeville High, 6.24 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Pamela S. Laviolette, Mandeville High, 14.89 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Richard K. Bowman, Transportation Center, 22.21 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Danny Collins, Transportation Center, 33 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Evelyn R. Collada, Transportation Center, 18 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Patsy R. Johnson, Transportation Center, 31.89 years, 19 years in St. Tammany Parish. And Joyce H. Perry, Transportation Center, 27.33 years, 22 years in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you, Mr. Kosei. Do I have a motion? Thank you, Mr. Betancourt. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Hersey. Any questions, comments by the public? Seeing none, any questions from the board? Mr. Betancourt.
Thank you, Mr. Harrell. I'm really glad to see this group of employees, the nomenclature changed to employee support services personnel. While these employees are not certified teachers, many of them, some of them in this room presently, are certificated in various fields. And it's high past time that we drop that non-certificated moniker. And so I'm really pleased with y'all finally doing this. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Betancourt. Mr. Bro, did you have a question?
Yes, I noticed there were a lot of names out of the transportation department. Is that normal? Maybe I haven't paid close attention before, but it seemed like there were quite a few. Those are bus drivers?
George, is that all bus drivers?
Some attendants, some bus drivers, some attendants.
Okay, I'm just curious. We're still having a lot of trouble getting bus drivers into the area, and I hate to see a lot of them leave.
We're not at the critical shortage area, as you heard a speaker say tonight about bus drivers. We have a plan in place. We have a meeting scheduled for Tuesday. And hopefully after that meeting, we'll have hopefully all of them filled.
All right, thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Bro. Any additional questions from board members? Seeing none, everyone please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Item G, review and recommendation of revised insurance for excess property, excess automotive, general liability, educators, legal liability, boiler and machinery, employee dishonesty, NFIP, flood, cyber liability, and workers' compensation insurance. Do I have a motion? Mr. Javier?
No, I was going to say, I'm going to go ahead and speak. I'm going to speak for that, okay, whenever you get ready.
Thank you, Mr. Betancourt. Thank you, Mr. Hersey, for the second. Do any comments by the public? Seeing none, any questions from the board? Okay, Ms. Baker.
Mr. Jabby, if you would please help me understand, that just looks significant increase to me. So I'm looking forward to you helping me understand.
Sure, sure. There have been some changes since you approved this in June. Yes, the June board meeting. Going back to the carriers after you approved us going forward, one of the carriers with the cyber liability did not want to insure. It was very difficult to find cyber liability with all the ransomware attacks and everything that's going on in this country. Right. So yes, so the premium did go up from $33,982 to $91,026, which is an increase of about $57,000. The good news is we have coverage. Okay. The other good news is that the named storm property that you originally approved for $1.326 million, that premium went down to $1.220 million, and the liability went from $8 million. I mean, the deductible went from $8 million to $7.5 million. So we had a savings there of over $105,000. So overall, to get the insurance that we came to you in June, we have a savings of $48,604.47. So the overall premium, we saved $48,000, even though one went up and another one went down. So one carrier was able to lower the premium, the other carrier raised the premium. And these were premiums that they had submitted to us.
Right.
But when we went back to them to sign the contracts, that was, they looked at their they did not want to underwrite this at all.
The cyber liability,
yes,
is what you're talking about.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is that protecting us against? So what is, I know, but I guess I don't.
I'm saying that's a good question, right? What is it?
Yes. What,
Kurt, I can get Kurt or either Lewis to maybe tell us what that
I mean,
covers.
if we're, yeah, I
That's
mean,
all
I know
of our
I'm
technology,
ignorant.
all of our internet, everything, all of that, all the electronic communications.
It would cover any type of attack on our networks. It does include restoration costs and expenses. Lewis does everything possible to prevent that. It's somewhat of a new product. Cyber was not really around, say, 10 years ago to purchase, but with every business in this nation and around the world relying more and more on computer network, we have a lot of data to protect. So that threat is something we want to ensure. And, it's still $3 million in coverage. It has a fairly low deductible, $50,000, and hopefully we'll never need it. But in discussions with Mr. Bouillon, we feel like it would be prudent to have it.
So if we got hacked, we'd have to replace all our stuff? Is that what we're saying?
If it depends on the attack.
Okay. It's just above the head.
The most prevalent one right now is the encryption, where every device is encrypted. So you have to restore all of your devices. So that involves a lot of manpower and a lot of time. So these funds would be used to begin that process and bring in teams to rebuild everything. So that's what's happening in other districts. And that's why a lot of these insurers do not want to write this coverage, because they're taking massive losses.
Thank
you. Mr. Kuzan.
Thank you. Did you have any trouble finding a company to write that?
It's the same company that gave us the proposal.
Is there many companies that's offering this cybersecurity?
No, sir. There's not very many.
$3 million wouldn't do much to cover all the systems that we have, would it?
It would help a lot. I mean, but would it be everything? That depends, as Mr. Bouillon said, about the type of attack.
But
maybe not.
It would be hard to cover everything we have for $3 million, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a start.
What is it possible that need to be increased?
Well, Mr. Kuzan, last year we only had 1 million in coverage.
So we increased it this year?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
As more time goes on and systems become more secure, the prices should correct themselves. Right now, they're high because of all the recent attacks.
Any additional questions from board members? All right, board members, everyone please vote.
You're on the wrong screen.
You were looking at numbers.
I know.
And that motion passes unanimously. Up next is the approval of recommendations from committee as a whole for Human Resources Education held on July 8th, 2021. Mr. Winkler, do you have a report?
Yes, Mr. President, the committee as a whole for Human Resources and Education met July 8th, 2021, and we're recommending acceptance of the revised pupil progression plan for 21-22, and I so move.
Thank you, Ms. Hines, for the second. Any comments by the public?
What is that?
Would you like to step up and state your question, please?
I'd like to know what it's all about. The revised pupil progression plan.
Just speak to the motion. It says for the motion.
Dr. McCarley, want to give us
a presentation of the revisions to the pupil progression plan was presented last week, and both Ms. Amy DiCarlo and Ms. Melissa Strataberger headed that committee and took us through the timeline for the revisions as well as what each revision was. One of them was regarding the renaming of courses to align with those outlined in the TOPS matrix. No change in courses, just in titles.
thank you very much, Ms. Dr. McCarley.
This is an annual process that we go through.
Thank you. Any additional questions from the public? Any comments by board members? Ms. Griswold, please.
I may be mistaken. Was there a change in second grade as well? I think for grading that I had read.
No, ma'am, it was for third grade.
Oh, third grade. Okay, so second grade did not have a change in grading system?
Correct, just
With
third.
with ELA? Okay, but second and first, no. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Page.
Mr. Carlo gave an excellent presentation, and there's a handout that they have attached to the agenda for last week, a very detailed handout that's really helpful. So I would encourage you guys to go and look at that to get the more information. It's very informative.
Thank you, Ms. Page. Any additional questions from board members? Ms. Hines?
And I just want to make sure that you all understand that this is required by the state, that we present the pupil progression plan every year. It's reviewed by a large committee that involves community members, parents, teachers, people from central office staff, and they meet numerous times to decide on decisions for that plan. And then it's presented at our committee meeting, gone over, and then brought to the full board for approval, and then it would be sent to the state. And I believe they have to approve or look over our revisions and make sure we're aligned with state requirements. So that's kind of the process that we go through every year with this, and at this time of the year.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Any additional questions or comments from the board? Seeing none, everyone please vote. And that motion passes unanimously. Item 6, announcements by the board president. A special board meeting to receive sealed bids for the purchase of general obligation school bonds will be held on Thursday, August 5th at 11:30 a.m. The August committee as a whole meeting will be on Thursday, August 5th at 6 p.m. The board meeting will be held on August 12th at 6 p.m. at the Brooks Educational Complex in Slidell. And I declare this meeting adjourned.